Hey everybody, it's Sarah and Jen Kim here. In today's video, we're talking about the secrets that we've used to 100x our productivity. So exciting. Okay, so actually though, let's start from a different angle. Productivity is such a buzzword, such a buzzword. What are your feelings on this? Because I know we've increased our productivity, but like, how do you feel about the way that that word is used and so on and so forth?
Well, I think like anything, because it's a buzzword, it doesn't tell the whole picture, you know?
Yeah,
and also,
that's true.
I think the word productivity triggers me. I don't know about you, but when people tell me to be more productive, I'm like, F you. Like, I don't want to be more productive. I want to be creative. I want to get results. Results is different than productivity, right?
That's a good point.
You know?
Yeah.
And so, you know, obviously I think the simplest way to put it, I think most people think of productivity in terms of managing of your time. And I do think productivity is part of managing your time, but I also think productivity is part of managing your energy.
Yes, that part right there.
Which actually I think matters, because if you are out of energy, it doesn't matter how much time you have. You can't be in the creative zone to actually produce results. And then that equals either an increase in money or a decrease in money. So for me, productivity is more about energy. Then that influences time, that then creates money. So that's how I look at productivity.
I love that. Yeah, because you can have, you know, sometimes people say it's as simple as putting 2 hours a day on your calendar to work on these things.
I wish.
But if you set the timer, you can let the timer run for 2 hours. If you have no creative spark, no energy, you don't have time to process it, you're tired.
Yeah, you haven't been hydrated, you know?
Yeah, well,
I mean,
guilty.
That one right here. Yes.
And then you walk away from the 2 hours and you're like, oh, I must suck, because everybody says, which is 2 hours a day, this is what I should be able to accomplish. And I don't have results on the other side. So I love that you have to take that into consideration. It's not just about putting the time on the calendar, but having the energy.
I wish it was that simple to block out time.
Oh my gosh.
If it was, again, we'd all be millionaires. We'd all be like productivity experts who could write books on it, you know? And I bet most of the people who write books on productivity do not do what they say in their books. I'm sorry, not trying to call you out, but I'm just saying, because it's not black and white.
Yeah.
It's
not a one size fits all.
Yeah, it's a throttling of energy, and I really want people to get that.
I think especially for women, when books are written by, you know, traditionally by males for that kind of society, it's so different for us with flow, energy, the emotional capacity behind it, the other things that are on our mind. You know, it's not just about the time blocking. So it's
and the
super
invisible
important
work that we have to do. And also, let's face it, we're all dealing, and it's just getting worse and worse because of technology, social media, pandemics, but our ability to have attention on anything at one given time has just become more and more difficult. So that's why actually energy is more important than time in my mind, because if you can manage your energy, then your time will, I mean, time is a construct, you know, it's actually infinite. I really believe that. And yes, we have the same quote unquote 24 hours in a day, but every single one of us has a different experience of life.
100%.
You know what I mean? We can't just say, oh, hey, Sarah, you have the same 24 hours a day as me. You should get everything done that I get done. That's BS. And that's actually, frankly, it's very what I call ist, meaning sexist, racist, ableist, all the things. And so think about that as you're thinking about productivity.
So the way that you often coach people is by encouraging them to know how to focus on the right hard things. And I love that. The right hard things. Can you tell our audience today just a little bit more of what that means when you say that?
Well, you know, there's another way to put it. We used to use this more when in the past, which was like eat your frogs first. Which basically means, or slay your dragons.
Your morning dragons.
Yeah, your morning dragons. And those are the 1 to 2 things that you have been avoiding and you wish you could delegate to somebody else, but you can't. You actually have to handle it. And it doesn't mean just professionally. It could be a personal thing, like, hey, maybe going to the dentist because you have a toothache, but you've been holding on to it for
also
this
guilty.
one. Okay. That's actually a dragon that you need to slay first, because it's crazy. Once you slay the dragon, the rest of the fantasy land is available to you, right? Because the dragon is no longer protecting the lair. And so we like to say, slay your dragons first, and that means doing the right hard thing first. And when you do the right hard things, and the faster you do it, then now you've opened up all this space for that energy throttle you need to get through some of the other things.
Yes.
So
Because it's not holding your brain space. It's not like, procrastinating something you're dreading or worrying about. It's like, no, done and handled.
Yeah, besides being values driven, it's really important in our company and on our campus that, focusing on the right hard things is what actually gets you success. And that's what gets most people who you deem as successful. They're willing to do the hard things so that they can have the easy things. And actually, think about anything hard you've ever done in your life. It probably was worse in your mind than it was in application, right? Like almost every single thing, including taxes. Right? Every time I'm like, taxes. And then I do it. And I'm like, that took me like 20 minutes, right? But that 20 minutes I was dreading for days and days and days.
And all that energy space.
It created, like there's something still in my mind that's blocking my creativity because I haven't handled that thing. And I'm not saying it's easy, but that's why it's called the right hard things. Okay? But imagine if you adopted that philosophy, what your life could look like. And I think we're living proof of that.
I think sometimes we pick the wrong hard things.
Man.
Oh, I can do this. Even though it's hard, I can do it. But like, if it's not the right one, why are we putting ourselves through that? There are no bonus points for us.
There's no bonus
on the other
points
side
for
of difficulty.
Efforts.
No.
Efforting is not energy. Okay? That's the whole thing. Like, I want to kill the idea of effort being the most important thing. You want to do hard, and I know you guys don't like that word, but I'm going to say it anyway. You got to do hard and slay those dragons first so that, again, be not on the other side. And I just want you to come over to our side with that because that's how our life looks.
Yes,
The topic of this talk was about productivity. And the question was about productivity. And like we've 100x'd our productivity just because of that concept.
Yes, because when you focus on the right hard things, you get it done, you get results, it becomes easier, you open up brain space, your energy is clear, you don't have all these other issues that are going on subconsciously or in the back of your mind. And it just, boom, your productivity and what you can come out with on the other side of the work. It's so much sweeter.
It's sexy.
So much better.
It's
amazing.
Like,
so good.
That's the way that the life
so
should feel and look.
Okay. So someone asked this question, which I really like. So it says, you guys get so much done in such a short amount of time. Seems like you're everywhere doing all the things. How do you do that?
Well, I mean, it's as simple as we stay in our lane. So what that means is I'm the strategy and vision person and Sarah is the execution mobilization person in our company. And we have a team behind us, obviously, but we, many years ago decided I'm not going to do the things that she does and she's not going to try to do the things that I do. And because it was causing both of us to feel inadequate and like, because we wanted to effort more. We wanted to show our value. And so we
would be well-rounded.
Yeah, well-rounded, all that stuff. And the truth is that we stay in our lane. I execute on what she says I need to. Those are the right hard things for me. And I'm like, okay, great. You need me to show up for this video right here. You need me to write. You need me to create some business relationships with a couple people. Great. But that's actually told to me. And the rest of the time, I have spaciousness to create, to take care of myself, etc. Because when I open my mouth, we make money. And when I say that, for you, that may not be your superpower. For me, that's my superpower. And with Sarah, on the other hand, well, you can describe yourself. I mean, she stays in her lane is the bottom line.
Yeah, so I'm the mobilizer, so I handle all of the mobilization of things. I mean, it's in the name, right? And I think too, though, I had to learn, like, I don't have to become a marketing or try to become a marketing genius like you. And I do need to learn and understand the parts of the marketing that are important, though, that are significant. Because if I'm mobilizing it and I have no context, no soul behind it, no real understanding of the strategy, how can I give proper direction, right? And so I think sometimes mobilizers like me are like, no, I only focus on ops because this is my thing, which is great. But you really do need to understand how the money is being made, how to anticipate that, what your clients need and what the audience needs, what kind of time allocation goes into the marketing department and what your CEO needs to be focused on there. And I think that for me, that was a thing of I don't have to master all of what you have. And I can also stretch myself to learn things that are maybe not my natural forte, but really make my job better on the other side. It was a right hard thing for me to focus on.
Well, I think too, back to 100x productivity, it's about communication.
Yes.
So I mean, and also saying, I don't get that and I need a translation.
Yes.
For both of us. Like if Sarah says to me, we've got to do X, Y, and Z. And I'm like, can I understand more why that one's important? Because to you, it seems important. To me, it doesn't. And be willing to have that conversation instead of going, Sarah must know better. It's not about that she probably does know better, but I can be of a better support to her if I just ask the simple question, can you just help explain it a little bit more without getting in the way of it? So that I know how to play and vice versa. But communication is so key, and it's not all about a checklist, and it's not all about a vision.
And it goes both ways, right? Like even in our literally full transparency meeting we had yesterday, and I had to pause in the middle of the meeting. I was like, wait, hold on. Can you explain to me where in the marketing we're talking? Because I feel like, are we talking about this? They're like, no, we're here. Okay, can you repeat it 2 more times? Because I'm just trying to place where I am in this meeting. And for someone with an ego like mine, where I love to be perfect and love to be right, that was hard for me in the beginning to say, I'm not really sure and I need to clarify. It felt so confronting for me, like I wasn't enough or I should know or it was just frustrating. And I've learned how to just raise my hand and be like, okay, wait, hold on, wait, I need help here. And I think that, that's a growth that individually we've gotten over the years to know how to.
I think that's an Achilles heel for most teams. Even if it's just you and let's say a part-time person, you have to be willing to communicate. That's what's going to make you more productive.
Yes.
But if you're like, we'll just see whatever's in Asana or Basecamp, and then I'll just follow there's a translation that happens when you talk. And so on our campus, we teach our clients how to create a communication cadence, how to stand up their teams, how to do it in an efficient way, in an optimal way. To make you more productive, because ultimately bad communication causes losses of time, energy, and money.
And also we support the CEOs because it can get frustrating to feel like you're repeating yourself over and over and over again to your team. Oh my gosh. I feel like we should do a whole episode on that. Maybe this next one. Let's do this next episode on that. All right. Okay. So thank you for joining us today. If you are someone who's looking to 100x or even 10x or even double your productivity, you're on the right track. Remember that your values matter, that it's focusing on the right hard things, getting the support that you need, and being willing to communicate so many important things. Thanks for joining us in this video. We're going to see you again very soon.